What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City transfer update. Daily videos. Remember, if you are interested in enjoying the content, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. Make sure you press the red button, subscribe and press the bell and put your push notifications on. And in description below and also popping up on screen, you got my social media links if you want to go and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. So we're going to crack on with this daily transfer update, and today we're going to be talking about 2 ins and 3 possible outgoings with Manchester City. So we're going to crack on with it. So first update that we've got, it comes in terms of Benfica attacker, midfielder, winger, striker, whatever you want to call him, Joao Felix. So the Sun have been reporting that Manchester City have now joined Manchester United in the race for the €120 million rated attacker. Apparently Pep Guardiola likes him, and he sees in him Raheem Sterling and also potentially Leroy Sane too as the potential long-term replacement for Sergio Aguero. So we've already got Gabriel Jesus that can play in that position, but he's kind of trying to have a versatile attack, if you get where I'm coming from, and he sees Joao Felix as being just the same as what Leroy Sane and also Raheem Sterling can do. And the Sun have been reporting that Manchester City do indeed want to keep Leroy Sane, and they feel like they want Felix too. So they're going to pursue Felix regardless of what happens with Leroy Sane, whether he comes, whether he stays or whether he leaves Manchester City. Manchester City want to push the boat out and try and sign Joao Felix. The situation is, though, at €120 million, it goes against all of Manchester City's transfer strategy and transfer policies that we go for. And so, to me, I don't see us signing him, not for €120 million anyway, in my opinion. And so, we're in a situation, if Manchester United are willing to pay more than us, then they will sign him, basically. Man City don't like being involved in transfer tug-of-wars. They don't like being in bidding wars with other teams. They like a player to say, I want to join Manchester City, I want to leave to join Manchester City, make it happen, I want to leave and sign for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. And so that's a situation that we need from Felix. Whether we get that is a completely different matter. I'm sure we'll hear more about it, and so I will give it to you when I do know more about that. But at this moment in time, City still sniffing around and still interested in Joao Felix. And speaking of Manchester City still being around, we're going to talk about Bruno Fernandes, the other player from Portugal, this time for Sporting Club de Portugal. And his agent has been speaking, and he's apparently told Sporting Club de Portugal, Sporting CP, Sporting Lisbon, whatever you want to call him, he's told them that Bruno Fernandes will indeed leave them this summer, and he wants to go to England, but he doesn't know if he's going to be heading to Man City or Manchester United or any other club for that matter. Of course, Manchester City, they did claim earlier that they weren't actually in for Bruno Fernandes and they weren't actually looking at that position of the top of the midfield three. And so, based upon that, United did cool their interest in him, at least for now. Whereas his agent's still trying to flirt around with him going to one of the Manchester clubs, trying to force the hand. He seems like a pretty, well, it seems like a typical agent, Bruno Fernandes' agent. And so, we'll have to wait and see with regard to that. I'm not too sure on Joao Felix. I'm not too sure on Bruno Fernandes. My gut feeling tells me both of these transfers, no. But I've been wrong before. My gut feeling has been wrong. And so, any details, whether they join Manchester City, will be staying at their clubs or going to another club, I'll provide it with you when I do have news of that. So there's the 2 incomings, so we'll talk about the outgoings now. And one thing that's a little bit more set in stone is Patrick Roberts. Now, I reported, I think a couple of transfer updates ago, that Leicester City were interested in signing Patrick Roberts. However, he won't be joining Leicester City, he'll be going to another Premier League club side instead. And he is set to join Norwich City on a season-long loan. The Sun and also I think it was the Mirror and the Mail have also reported that he has had his medical with Norwich City as of yesterday night, and he will become the Norwich City's first signing of the summer and their first Premier League football signing for this season too. Like I said, Leicester were interested in him. It was a permanent transfer. Instead, City have decided to loan him out instead, and it's going to be an excellent loan. City have based him going out on loan to Norwich based on how well Angus Gunn did, and City being able to get a good sell-on value with Angus Gunn and selling him to Southampton. So I think they're hoping for something similar with Patrick Roberts. So wanting to wish the best of luck to Patrick Roberts, and that could even be today where that is officially confirmed by the clubs. So stay tuned for that one. You want to go and check out my Twitter, I will retweet when that does happen, and hopefully that will be today, and I'll be able to report it for you for tomorrow's daily transfer update. So next bit of news we have is Danilo. This isn't a lot different to what we already know, in my opinion, but Italian sources, they've officially confirmed that Inter have cooled their interest in Danilo. We already know that. They did release some figures, though, which I found interesting, which is why I've included it in this video. They were saying €4 million a year wage was agreed for Danilo to sign for Inter Milan, and they were saying that the problem was coming from an €18 million fee that Inter wanted to pay. City wanted €25 million, making it like we were pricing them out, and so on that, they cooled their interest. Inter Milan did in Danilo, and it looks like Danilo may well stay at Manchester City now. Now, it's interesting that we know the price, but what I do know is Inter Milan have just sacked their manager. I think that was last night, and they're set to appoint Antonio Conte, and we do know from sources in Italy that Antonio Conte wants another right-back. He doesn't want Danilo. He's identified other right-backs, and so to me, I think that's the real reason why Inter Milan have cooled their interest. They've turned their attentions elsewhere rather than price, because, let's face it, €7 million isn't a lot of difference, and you could easily negotiate a smaller fee than the €25 million that Man City wanted, and so as far as I'm concerned, unless there is interest later on, Inter Milan don't sign their targets or another club's interested in Danilo, as far as I'm concerned, at this moment in time, Danilo will be staying, so that potentially impacts incoming. So Cancelo, is that how you say his name, that we've been recently linked with, and also Aaron Wan-Bissaka too. If we don't sell Danilo, we won't be signing a right back, and so that means we won't be bringing them in. Now, next up, we're going to give you a Leroy Sane update, and the Bayern president's been opening his big gob again and speaking. So he's this time very interesting. I found this actually. He said that a deal for Leroy Sane is extremely difficult. Catch this, because he thinks that it'll cost too much. Okay. Absolutely brilliant, stating the obvious there. We know that Manchester City don't want to sell Leroy Sane. They've opened up contract talks with Leroy Sane. That means if Leroy Sane is going to leave, Man City is going to have to turn down a new deal and then agree a deal with Bayern Munich. Paying his wage probably won't be a problem. The bigger problem is how much Man City want for him. Let's not forget, 2 years he's got on his deal. Manchester City will want a lot of money. We've paid £80 to £100 million. City apparently aren't willing to listen to anything under triple-figure £1 million sum. That's a lot of money. Bayern have never spent that amount of money. I don't think they've got that kind of money to spend on just one player, so I don't see them doing it, and I feel like they're just trying to unsettle Leroy Sane a little bit, and I don't like the tactics of their president that's been speaking. I don't like the tactics that Bayern Munich's used in this transfer strategy, and I'm hoping that all the good things will prevail and Leroy Sane will do the right thing, in my opinion, which is extend his contract, which will increase his value, and then Manchester City can work hard with Leroy Sane over the next season or two, work hard with Pep whilst he's still got a couple of years left on his deal at City, and then go from there and see what position Leroy Sane is in there. I think he's a wonderful player, and in my opinion, in the market, there isn't better out there than Leroy Sane, and so I would love for him to stay, and I've got all my fingers crossed that the right decision will be made by Leroy Sane, and he does decide to stay, because I really don't want to do a video saying to all of my subscribers and all of the people supporting my channel that Leroy Sane has left Manchester City to join Bayern Munich. I don't want to do that. Fingers crossed I don't have to, and I can give you some great news and say that he signed a new contract. Hopefully that'll be soon. Not got an update on Ilkay Gundogan's new contract as of yet. Hopefully soon. Now, last but not least, in this transfer update, we're going to be speaking a little bit more about Mangala, the forgotten man at Manchester City. Now, we know FC Porto are interested. Apparently, according to sources in Portugal, they want him. He's interested in a return back to FC Porto. Manchester City are happy for Mangala to go back to FC Porto, and City want it to be a permanent transfer. I'm not too sure what the fee will be. It'll either be a small fee, don't rule out there being no fee whatsoever, and they're having to pay his wage and things like that, and Manchester City end up earning the money back that way, so we'll end up like not paying his wage, and so, you know what I mean, we'll get the money back like that through other means. But that's probably what City will aim towards. It'll probably be quite a small fee, after City announced yesterday that they given up basically hope of picking up a big transfer fee, which is ludicrous because we was never going to do that in the first place. However, sources in Portugal were saying that FC Porto have got concerns over Mangala's medical, so they're concerned over his injury records, they're concerned something about him. He's not even done a medical, but they're concerned about something, so it's making me think that something isn't quite right. And again, gut feelings telling me this probably won't materialise into a permanent transfer, but we'll have to wait and see. I made a note, I just put and I think that would pretty much sum up how I feel about the transfer at this moment in time. We'll have to wait and see. So make sure you stay tuned tomorrow for another transfer update. I'm sure we'll have 4 or 5 bits of news knocking around. Hopefully I can bring you some good news with terms of Ilkay Gundogan and also Leroy Sane. So make sure you stay tuned, and if you're interested and you're enjoying the content, make sure you do press that red button, subscribe and press the bell and put your push notifications on. Leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you go and check out my social media links. They're in the description below and popping up on screen again too if you want to go and follow me on that. Twitter, most important on here. I'll keep you up to date as quickly as possible, which is at JSGC171. Don't forget, you can also go and check out my email, jsgc171@gmail.com, which is also in description below. If you want to hit me up with any business enquiries, any general enquiries, or also any sponsorships for any videos. Currently raking in the subscribers. Like I said, we're aiming for 4,000 subscribers. We're doing really well at this moment in time, so long may it continue. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next video. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.